Yo, what's going on, everybody? Y'all are tuning into another week of the Saturday AI and tech news, or really weekly AI and tech news. Either way, y'all, we got a lot of news to cover from this week. I have been out for the past few weeks, so I'm super excited to be back here. Ashley and the rest of the team have been holding it down these last couple of weeks. And so excited for everybody that's tuning in. For those of y'all that are joining on the stream right now, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if this is your first Saturday tech and AI news, or if you've been to some of these before. Also, let us know in the comments what is a bit of tech news that you've heard about this week that you're most interested in. So while we're waiting for y'all to drop those comments, while y'all are posting up those comments and thinking through some of the news that's happening this week, also want to introduce my wonderful co-host who's been holding it down in this piece, Ash. So Ash, if you could please introduce yourself for the new people, the people that are unfamiliar, so they can be familiar with who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome in, everybody, on this amazing Saturday. Super excited to speak to you guys about the most exciting tech news. As you guys already know, my name is Ash. I'm your go-to gal for AI tech solutions. So if you're also on a professional side, if you're looking to transition into tech or AI, or if you're a professional or business owner looking for AI solutions, hit me up.
Good stuff. And also, for those of y'all that are unfamiliar with who I am, my name is Cyrus. I'm the founder of Tech is the New Black and the Scale in Tech Bootcamp, where we've provided solutions for thousands of people to be able to get tech careers, helped a little over 6,000 people break into the tech industry and scale further. We also have a large community, a huge professional and tech community of over 5,000 members, getting close to 6,000 members right now, which is our Buckhead Networking Atlanta Connect, or Connect Atlanta group. So for those of y'all that are looking for a community of professionals and techies, make sure you join our free community so you can get access, resources, as well as being able to get first dibs when it comes to our recurring events that we have. We have roughly about 2 or 3 events every single month, so you definitely want to make sure you don't miss out. And we are going to be launching our tech events very soon. Recently, we just had a Tech Atlanta bar crawl a couple weeks ago. I'm in South America, and at the time I was in Dubai. I was speaking at a tech conference about AI and technology for businesses. So I didn't have the opportunity to be at the tech crawl, but I got to see some of the content and recap from it. It looked really cool. So make sure that y'all are tapped into the community, even if you're not in Atlanta. Make sure you're tapped in, because there are resources, engagement, insights, and really just community. Really just a way for people to be able to collaborate, connect, and grow their network through the community. That being said, a service that I'm launching today, actually, you're going to hear about this first. Wish I was a DJ and had the little sound effects, world premiere. So many people have been asking me to mentor them. I've done a lot of coaching calls, but I've kind of dialed down on promoting during coaching calls. I've been focused really heavily on the boot camp. Something that we're launching today for everyone that's in the boot camp, but also for people that are not in the boot camp, is an opportunity to be able to text me unlimited on my business line. So literally, for those of y'all that are on YouTube, y'all will see the link where, again, if you're not in the boot camp, there's 3 different tier options for you, literally to be able to have me as your career mentor to help you scale into tech, help you learn kind of the ins and outs of being able to prep up your tech startup and selling that. Because I mentioned before, recently I shared how myself and my co-founders of Occupy AI, how we sold our AI solution earlier this year. In January, we were able to sell it for $820,000. After only launching it, literally 7 months later, we were able to sell it. So yeah, little bits and pieces that y'all might need. Make sure you're able to tap in with me through that. Again, it is a free service for those of y'all that are here in the chat that you're already in the boot camp. Literally, just you're going to be getting free access on Monday to be able to text me unlimited. Obviously, you have access to me in the Discord, in the boot camp, but it's a way that you're able to have immediate access to me, because many of you are getting job interviews, you're getting things, and I want to make sure I'm there to help you immediately, and you not have to wait for me to respond in the Discord. So again, that's something that all of you have access to, even if you're not in the boot camp. But for those that are in the boot camp, you get that completely free, unlimited. So again, the goal of this is that many people have been wanting to book me for coaching calls, and some people just honestly haven't been able to afford the coaching calls. And there have been people who only needed to talk to me for about 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not worth a coaching call, but I'm also too busy to like stop and hop on a call. So I realized, you know what? I have a business line. People can just reach out to me. We can shoot quick text. And once I'm able to respond, I can respond. So literally people have access to be able to text me, and we can communicate through that. That being said, we're going to address a few of these comments, and then we're going to jump into the tech news that we have for today. So I see Iris says, love from sunny San Diego.
Yes, San Diego.
Fafalise. Is that Fafalise? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think Ash, actually, Ash, where are you from? Are you from Georgia, or where are you from?
Yeah, I was raised in a military family, so I kind of, grew up a little bit everywhere. But yeah, I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, so in the South.
Okay, cool. All right. Shouts out to Charleston, South Carolina. South Carolina's booming right now. Harriet tuning in live for the first time. That's crazy, Harriet, because I feel like I've seen you so much on social media, and I feel like I've seen you so much. So that's cool that you're tuning in for the first time live. Jalen watching from Texas. Captain Nudes 2011. I built 10 web apps using AI, and it has been great and amazing process. That's incredible. That is really incredible. Love it. Love it. All right, y'all. So look, we got some incredible news to jump into. I'm going to go ahead and kick things off, and then we're going to pass it over to Ash for the tech news that she has to share for everybody today. So super excited to dive in to the different variations of news that we have to cover for today. That being said, let's get started. So the question that a lot of people are asking, will the Supreme Court save TikTok? What's ahead in the final legal showdown? This news comes from USA Today. Will the Supreme Court save TikTok? What's ahead in the final legal showdown? Now, recently, Washington, the Supreme Court, through TikTok, recently, Washington, via Washington, the Supreme Court through TikTok a potential lifeline on Wednesday when it agreed to quickly hear the company's challenge to a law requiring it to be sold or face a ban in the U.S. next month. But the short form video app and its Chinese parent company ByteDance still have the tough task of convincing the Supreme Court to overturn an appeals court's decision that national security concerns outweigh the law's infringement of free speech rights. Quote, this is the sort of government regulation of speech that the First Amendment is intended to prevent, said Gus Horwitz, a senior fellow at the University of Pennsylvania Carey Law School. But this, continuing quote, but this is the set of facts and circumstances where the court is most likely to nonetheless allow that regulation. Now, look, we can continue going through this, but we all know the story. We've been talking about it since the beginning of this year. And it was first announced that TikTok is getting banned. At first, people thought it was capped. There's no way that the government's actually going to go through with this. But now the deadline is January 19th. For those of y'all that are new here, for those of y'all that haven't been keeping up with the news, January 19th, which is literally about 3 weeks away, 3 or 4 weeks away. January 19th is the cutoff date for TikTok being in America. That being said, they've been pushing back, but now they're asking for an extension. And it looks like the government is going to hear them out on January 9th, literally about 10 days before TikTok is supposed to be banned. So to me, that's kind of crazy. It's like, dang, like literally 10 days before they're going to court again, which to me, I have a lot of thoughts on it. But before I jump into my thoughts, I actually want to pass it over to y'all in the comments as well as to Ash. Ash, my question to you and to everybody in the comments, do you think TikTok is actually going to get banned, or do you think they're going to come to some agreement or some deal?
Wow. I mean, what an amazing question. I think the bottom line answer is going to be that it will be inevitably banned because of the validation of national security interest. So obviously, we're all competing on the grand stage with AI, artificial technology, artificial intelligence. And so, TikTok is all that they're essentially doing is gathering the data, of our public, of our nation. And so they essentially already have the information that they need to do, whatever they need to on the national security front. However, I think that it's definitely going to go through with it. What do you think? Do you think they're going to, finally say that it's going to be cut off for everybody on January 20th or something like that?
You know what? I agree with you. I believe TikTok is going to get banned. The reason why, so one, what I think is going to happen is because of the short time frame, I think there's going to be an extension. So before it's banned, because they're going to court on, I said January 9th, but it's actually January 10th. Like, I don't think 9 days is enough time for them to fully deliberate and come to a decision. So I predict they're going to extend it to where maybe they'll push it back until sometime in February, maybe March for them to come to a decision. And but I believe from there, I do believe TikTok will be banned. You made a great point when you mentioned the AI component and you mentioned the technology component. Everything is a race right now. And so let's be real, y'all. This is one of the first times ever, if not the first time, that American social media tech companies have been threatened and in many ways losing to a non-American competitor. American social media companies, it's always been head to head. It was always, Napster, MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, all of the platforms we've been familiar, even the ones that are pretty much obsolete, Vine, Periscope, others like that. It was always US social media tech companies. And the fact that TikTok, and now mind you, it's more than just popularity, but it's the fact of them training their AI, which is something that I know some people don't know about, that ByteDance, TikTok, they've been training their AI off of the content we're uploading, off of the things we're saying and posting on the platform. So it's a bit of a thing where it's one, our US government and the tech companies don't like how successful TikTok and ByteDance are. It's also a little bit of them beefing with China. It's also a little bit of the fact that China doesn't allow some of our technology and our social media platforms in their country. So it's kind of like, well, why are we letting y'all be in our country? It's also a little bit of, y'all know, we're at a war with China. We've been at a war with China, not a military war, but we've been at a trading war with China. And I mean, we've been now at an AI war with China, technology war with China, self-driving war with China, a superconductor war with China. We're in a huge arms race when it comes to this technology. And I think our government does not like the idea of them using US citizens to help fuel and educate their AI to get smarter and get better. I think that's the real stuff. I don't think it's really the US, I don't know. It's so much to it. But look, I've talked a lot about this subject. Go ahead, Ash.
You're absolutely right. And so I think we all are going to have to prepare because the market is going to change and shift whenever, they do go through with that on January 10th. And so it, puts all the business owners, all the creators kind of in a place where, okay, what other alternative platforms can we use? We have Instagram. Mark Zuckerberg, I'm sure he's going to be very happy that he can celebrate as being, one of the main platforms that are out there. So most definitely love this topic to start off with because this is going to be something that's going to be affecting all of our lives. And so we have some great comments here. So let's go ahead and kind of just shout everybody out that's here right now. So Harriet says that she's always watched our playbacks on YouTube, but she's glad that she caught us in action today. We love that. Welcome in, Harriet.
Glad we caught you here. Glad we caught you, Harriet.
Yes. Welcome in, everybody, on this beautiful Saturday. Yahweh Tech, love that name. It says it's not going to be banned. I'm sure an American version of their company will buy it. Hey, that's a great potential. It could definitely, happen. Now, maybe Instagram might be, taking a look at it. We don't know what other companies are looking into it, but most definitely the government's gonna, make that final decision. And so, Philo Dev says 03, we're looking into the updated 03 model from ChatGPT's 01 or Omni model, which is going to be absolutely insane. That's going to be our next topic, you guys. So love that you mentioned that. Michael, thanks so much for your interest here. He says Meta has power in Congress, which is absolutely right. They have a lot of power, obviously. Data, information, that's power now. And so, we're going to see how that plays out. Iris says that I believe they'll be forced to sell. I mean, hey, join the boat. We don't know how it's going to turn out. We're all going to have to see. Michael says Meta stock is going to go up. It absolutely will. And so, Meta's going to have a massive payday. So all creators are going to be flooding to that platform. So Harriet says, I think the government doesn't want another country having the level of information they have access to. So security-wise, the one who holds the most information has the upper hand. Well said, Harriet. That's exactly what Cyrus was saying earlier. Perfect. All right, you guys. Well, without further ado, let's get into the latest integration and update of OpenAI's O3 model. And so essentially, this is mind blowing. Okay. Is AGI here artificial general intelligence? Well, we'll find out. So essentially, this O3 model is surpassing its predecessor. And so we're looking into complex coding, advanced math, science, et cetera, et cetera. Also, we're looking into a competitive stage where they're going to be competing with Google's Gemini 2.0 model. And so this is going to change the game, you guys. We're looking at not only enhanced efficiency, of course, but also the way that you're able to integrate AI into your business is going to change
Real
the game.
quick, are you sharing your screen?
No, this is just
just news. Okay, you
straight.
drop it. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Next time we'll come with some nice visuals, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
So so you guys, this is going to change the game, obviously, in the workforce, because with healthcare, we're looking into being able to have different solutions and cures that are going to be more available than ever. We're going to have doctors that are using AI, lawyers, accountants, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone's going to be using the advanced AI models. And so my question to you guys is, do you think that there are going to be ethical considerations addressed when utilizing such AI models? Do you think that the current ethical considerations suffice? Or do you think that we can do better as we're continually evolving with this AI that could possibly be smarter than humans? Cyrus, what do you think?
I believe, honestly, at this point, I definitely know for a fact AI is going to be smarter than us. That's not a tough feat, which is embarrassing to say. It's not a very tough feat. But in terms of all the advancements that are happening with AI, it's there's so much that's happening because all of the different advancements that are happening and all of the competition right now is just making these companies go hard. Between Grok and then obviously ChatGPT and even Microsoft, their Copilot. It's like everyone's competing right now. Meta launching their own AI. So as we know, competition only makes companies perform better, which is only going to expedite the process of AI being smarter than us. And so I believe at first I saw the report is that AI was going to be smarter than us around like 2030, but now it's like, yo, it's going to be smarter than us by next year. Definitely by the next release. It's honestly going to be insane as how intelligent. Because even now, the things it's able to do are mind blowing. It's honestly blowing my mind. The more I mess with it, and it's like every day I'm using it, and every day I discover something new about it. Like I'm discovering things that they updated with it before I even see the news report about it. And the fact that I check the news every day about updates with it, but I'm discovering the updates before the news is able even to get the report out about it, which is crazy. So yeah, it's definitely going to be smarter than us, honestly. I'm curious to know from y'all in the comments, like at what point do you believe that AI would just be significantly smarter than us? Ash, what do you think about this? I just share my opinion, my thoughts on it. I'm curious to know, like, what are your thoughts, like, on the topic? I don't know if Ash is frozen on y'all's end. She's frozen.
So, this is one of my favorite questions ever. I want to make sure I'm like not paused right now.
Okay, I can hear you, but you're
I'm also frozen on my end as well. Can you hear me okay though?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. This might sound a little crazy, you guys. Okay, now I'm looking crazy in the frozen. Okay, we're good. My answer to this question, it's going to sound a little crazy. I think that AI is already here. And here's why. So Sam Altman has, laid a few small hints that essentially AGI is already, possible and capable with the current model. And so this was just like a casual tweet of him, like, laying little breadcrumbs, but just through communicating with artificial intelligence, it's going to sound crazy, but I believe that AGI, there are levels to AGI, okay? But at this level, I think we're starting there. And that's insane to believe because we're at a place now, like, Cyrus has already said, what's going to happen when artificial intelligence is now more intelligent than us? But we want to hear from the audience. Tap in, you guys. Do you guys think that AGI is already here? Do you guys think that I'm crazy? Let me know. You think I'm crazy?
And Ash, for
Cyrus?
the new people that are here that are unaware, can you explain what AGI is exactly? Because obviously they hear AI, they're like, okay, what is this AGI thing?
Yes. So artificial general intelligence. And so essentially it's where a AI system is surpassing the level of intelligence of a human being. So it basically encompasses being able to conduct and execute any task. So we think of, the future being where AI can one day replace doctors, lawyers, accountants, et cetera, et cetera. And it's all going to be based on reasoning capabilities. And so that's the first level, AGI, and the next level is ASI, artificial superintelligence. And that's a singularity type of situation where, artificial intelligence has its own understanding of itself and the universe. And so essentially it evolves into being another being. And that's what we're here at now by literal being that we're creating. Who knows what this being necessarily is in artificial intelligence, but it's something completely new. It's a super exciting time to be alive. We have some interesting comments here. So let's get into it.
Yeah, Lyric Studio says, I don't believe AI has the capacity of being smarter than a human. I believe it uses its resources better than humans. It's more efficient. There's so much more to the human mind that we even know. So when you say that it can't be smarter than a human, like what do you define as being smart? Because that's my question. Because the way that I define being smart, and I believe this is the general sense of how people define being smart, like smart is having a wealth of knowledge, but also your ability to like leverage or use that knowledge in like almost an immediate capacity. So for instance, I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to the Bible. I know a lot of people that are very knowledgeable when it comes to the Bible, but I would consider smart someone where like I've seen people debate like scripture or debate Bible, and there's a difference between someone who's read the Bible, so technically they've read everything that's in there, versus a person that in a conversation they can immediately quote a scripture and tell you the book, chapter, and verse where the scripture is at. And they could explain the context of that scripture based on the book that it's in and what was happening. That to me is smart. Like there's a difference between not having knowledge of things versus your ability real time to pull out the information, break down the context of it, and use it in a specific scenario where it's applicable. That being said, humans are not, even right now, humans cannot compete with AI when it comes to that. Like if I were in court against a lawyer, a professional lawyer that's been in court or that's been a lawyer for 15 years, if I'm able to use AI, give me 1 day to prepare for the case and give that lawyer 3 months to prepare for the case. Me, a person that's not a lawyer, if I have 1 day to prepare for the case using AI, I will beat that lawyer in court because I'm going to be able to leverage every loophole of the law. I'm going to be able to even in real time when the lawyer is up arguing their case, when they have my client on stand or whatever the situation is, if I have AI listening to everything they're saying and I tell the AI in advance, hey, based on this court case and based on what's going on, this person is on stand right now. I want you to listen to everything that the lawyer is saying, and I want you to calculate every loophole in what they're saying every time that I should say objection, Your Honor, every time they say something that's wrong pertaining to the case, I could dismantle that lawyer. To me, that makes AI much smarter than a human. The fact that an untrained person can go up against someone who has 10, 15 years of training, that to me says AI is a lot smarter. But again, that's my opinion. I'm not going to say you're wrong at this point. But y'all are going in the comments. I love this. I love this so much. Ash, what are your thoughts on the idea of, or just their comment or idea of AI never being able to be smarter than us?
Yeah. So I think we have to be very realistic at this point. And so a lot of people fear what they don't understand. And so it makes a lot of sense for humanity to take it that way. However, it's come to an evolutionary point where it's inevitable. And so AI will, if it's not already, it will become more intelligent than a human being. And so we can't run from it. We can't stick our head in the sand and avoid what's coming. We all have to face it head on. AI is here for solutions. It's here to create better scenarios, a better world, a better future. And so we shouldn't be afraid of it. We should instead, embrace what we're creating. However, I always like to say it's like, the well-known saying, it's like the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And replace Apple with AI, it's like a child. And we're continually, programming this child. And so we want to make sure that our baby, is for unity, collaboration, and creating and helping humans instead of the doomsday scenario. And so we could have self-confirming biases, racism, hatred that we're going to be programming the artificial intelligence with. But we could also trust that if we're going to be, raising this artificial intelligence, that we can instill it with values, so it's going to be able to make proper decisions to, help humanity and mankind. So
one thing, y'all are dropping some major nuggets. There's one comment I want to address with Oscar. We like emotional intelligence is still ours as humans. So again, believe it or not, AI can understand emotional intelligence to the degree that we can. 3 years ago, when I started my first tech company, for those of y'all that know my story, I was a Lyft driver. I did a tech boot camp. I got in the tech industry. And my very first tech company is called Dialpad. They're called a VoIP company. It's voice over internet protocol. Basically like this. This is technically VoIP technology, our voice and video over internet protocol. That being said, one of the technologies that as a sales engineer or solutions engineer, I would have to pitch was now again, this is pre the AI boom. We're talking 3 years ago. Three and a half years ago. This is the pre the AI boom. One of the pieces of technology that I used to demo was something called voice intelligence. Now, again, this is before the AI boom. What voice intelligence was able to do, imagine you're a supervisor and you have a customer service rep on a call with a customer. 3 years ago, the technology was able to do this, where if your rep is on the phone with a customer, if that customer starts getting agitated, if they start getting like snarky or upset, the AI could listen. It's called intent. The AI could literally feel the vibrate. Like it could basically tell this person is upset right now, not necessarily just because of what the person is saying. The AI could hear the inflections in the voice, the same way us as humans. I could say to someone like, I love you. Or I could say, I love you. And it's like, whoa, that's kind of weird. AI can hear that and it can tell, no, something's off. Not only could the AI do that, the AI would alert the supervisor via text message like, yo, this call is going off the rails. You should probably jump in and take over. Instead of that rep having to argue with the person, eventually going to call with the supervisor would get alerted by the AI. It would send over a text message.
In advance.
Yes, in advance. Now, again, this is before the AI boom, before open AI, before AI became an open source model like it is right now. That being said, AI, look like I'm frozen now. Okay. AI not only can it listen to voice, AI at this point, it can actually look at your facial expressions and read your emotions. Like there's plenty of demos on this right now. So it can read your emotions based on your facial expressions, your body posture, definitely your voice inflection. And because, again, AI understands in certain scenarios, long story short, by and large, it has a sense of emotional intelligence where it can understand what's going on and also how to navigate that conversation or that situation if something happens. That's a creepy thing to realize, but I at least wanted to highlight that. Because again, I loved your comment, Oscar, and I was like, yo, this is an opportunity to break down what this technology can do. Because I think that's one of the things that we're missing out on. And that's the purpose why we're here. That's why we're here to talk about the tech news as well as to make sure all of us are up to date when it comes to what this tech can actually do. Because many times we think it's not as advanced as what it is. And it's like, no, this stuff is scary good. And that's why we're here. We're here to make sure all of us are on the same page. And that's why we got other dope people in the comments, like Michael, who is one of the co-founders of our community of techies and others. And there's others y'all that are here in the comments as well. Many of y'all that are actually AI engineers. Y'all are dropping a lot of nuggets and gems in the comments. So we love it. We're all here to grow, elevate, and learn. Good stuff.
Yeah, we have some great comments.
That's a good point. Yahweh Tech. A caveman couldn't see that we would be this smart today. We have no idea how smart we will be in the future. That's a beautiful point. That is a very beautiful point. Harriet, dang, if you highlight it like that, then the ethical questions on AI is even more crucial. Yes, exactly. That's one of the topics that we might be able to address today. In short, we're not going to address this topic because we're short on time. But one of the things I will say is that that's one of the reasons why Elon Musk and even Mark Zuckerberg are suing right now. They're either suing OpenAI. No, Elon Musk is suing OpenAI. Mark Zuckerberg is calling for the courts to stop OpenAI from becoming a for-profit company. So literally, Mark Zuckerberg, because OpenAI, they're a nonprofit company, but now they're trying to change into a for-profit company. And Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and others are saying they cannot do that. For one, for certain reasons, why they, certain reasons in terms of investments, where, there's a difference between investors that are investing in a nonprofit versus a for-profit, but also their fears of, okay, if they become for-profit, then they could lose their ethical side of things. But good stuff. So look, y'all, let's jump into some more piece of news so we can keep it pushing, keep it moving. I'm realizing I'm still sharing the screen right now. Stop and then share. Actually, I just remembered that we're not going to do the screen share. I've been out for a few weeks, so I'm like doing things the wrong way. All right, good stuff, guys. All right, so next piece of news that we got to cover. Google plans to add an AI mode option to their search. It's about dang on time. So, as many people are aware, Google, up until about 2 years ago, Google had a 94% market share of the search market. So who had 4% was Bing, and then all the other smaller players held the other 2%. Since the boom of ChatGPT's of OpenAI's ChatGPT, since the enhancements with Bing search and other platforms, Google has seen a large chunk taken out of their market share of when it comes to the global search market. Now Google actually only has about an 88% monopoly on the search market. I know some people are thinking like, oh, what's the big deal? That's just an 8% difference. That 8% difference is the annual difference of hundreds of billions of dollars. And of course, these companies don't just think annually, they think in terms of decades. So we're talking trillions of dollars that Google potentially is losing because they lost that 8% in terms of their monopoly on the search market. So because of that, of course, we already knew Google was going to do this, but now Google is finally launching their own AI, or excuse me, they're launching their own chat option when it comes to search, basically their own AI chat, similar to how ChatGPT is coming for Google. Google's kind of coming for them now. That being said, my question that I have for y'all, do you feel this is a little too late? Like, do you feel as if like Google took too long, or do we feel as if Google is going to be able to maintain that 88, 89%? Or where do we think, my question really is, where do we think a year from now Google's going to be at? Do we predict that Google's going to still be at about 88 to 90%, or do we think they're going to be down to about 85% or less when it comes to their monopoly on the search market? So I personally feel that they are a little bit late when it comes to, I'm not going to say they missed the boat, because again, they still got 88%, so they're still the big dogs. But it's like no one is talking about Google right now when it comes to search. Like no one's talking about Google when it comes to like looking things up. It's like everyone is talking about ChatGPT. And honestly, it's more than just the market share Google has. It's about who's the person everybody is talking about. If Google doesn't turn the tides, if they don't get everyone talking about them, because when Gemini launched, when they went from Bard to Gemini, I remember the only times I really saw people speaking heavily about Gemini was when it was making mistakes. Like when people were searching up historical figures, and like they were white historical figures, and like black people were being shown instead with the AI. And so it's like I see more people talking about Gemini clowning it, which is crazy. It's almost like Google is getting the Drake treatment right now, where it's like, yo, yeah, you the big dog, but right now we don't like you. And so I feel that if Google doesn't change something, now mind you, they're going to be fine as a company. They're not going to go down as a company. They're too big to fail. Nevertheless, I believe that if Google doesn't change something quickly in terms of their branding, maybe a bit of a Mark Zuckerberg type of thing, because even the CEO of Google, like no one talks about him the way that people talk about Mark Zuckerberg, the way that people talk about even Tim Cook. Tim Cook is a very kind of behind the scenes person, but even he's more popular and well known. The way people talk about Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, it's like these leaders of these tech companies, they are very like front and in person. They're seen and they have an audience themselves. I believe that what Google needs to do is that the CEO of Google needs to become some type of public figure. Because I mean, even Sam Altman, the founder of ChatGPT, he's a very public figure. He's going and speaking at a lot of events and platforms. And so I believe Google needs to have some type of reform with their brand where they put their CEO front and center. Maybe they go through some type of PR training like Mark Zuckerberg did, because Mark Zuckerberg is killing it right now. Everybody went from hating Mark Zuckerberg to thinking he the coolest dude ever. And so I think Google has to do a large overhaul, or in the next couple of years, they're probably going to drop down close to 80% when it comes to the market share, which again, we're talking at that talking $200 to $300 billion a year that they're going to be losing revenue wise. Great point, ID8. He says, look at NVIDIA and Jensen Huang. Perfect example. NVIDIA, for those of y'all that don't know, NVIDIA, they're the largest, I think the second largest. They're the most popular right now, but I think they're still technically the second largest chip maker for semiconductors. Nevertheless, Jensen Huang is incredibly popular. Incredibly popular. Same thing. He went from being like a nerdy dude behind the scenes to now his team has him walking around wearing a leather jacket, just looking cool and smooth. Always has a clean, crisp haircut. And, you know, definitely, like we're definitely seeing that start to happen. Right now, it's definitely the founder influencer market right now, where it's like the founder has to be a little bit of an influencer as well. Wow. Harriet made a huge claim. I want to know who all agrees with this. Harriet said Google is about to become like Yahoo. Oh man, that's actually crazy. Ash, what do you think? Like, how do you feel about, you know what I'm curious about? Ash, what is your favorite generative AI platform out of all of them? Out of Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, or are you like, hey, I just play around with all of them?
Yeah, so I've tested out a pool of a few. Copilot, Microsoft's platform, Gemini, Claude. I haven't had the pleasure of testing out those platforms. However, I would have to say my favorite is ChatGPT. I love the chat. Yeah. What about you?
I feel, and same question to y'all in the comments. Like, for those that have used more than ChatGPT, which one is your favorite? For me, I have to be real. I feel like ChatGPT kind of has me like Apple right now, where you kind of get caught in the ecosystem. Even if you want to leave, you're like, oh, but I have the iPad, I have the MacBook, I have all of this stuff that's interconnected and interwoven. For me, I hear that Copilot is much better, but
yeah,
I've been using ChatGPT so much. Like ChatGPT, it's almost like being in a relationship with a person that they know you. And it's like, do I really want to meet somebody else? And then I have to like tell them everything about me. And we got to go through what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Where are you from? And the thing is, because these AI platforms really get to know you, because for those that don't use these platforms like heavily, the benefit of them, y'all, is don't think like a search engine where you're just going on there to search up stuff. You literally, I could go on ChatGPT right now and I can ask it a question. I could say, hey, do you remember when we talked about this thing 2 months ago? And literally its response won't be, yeah, I remember that. It'll literally say, yeah, I remember we talked about this, this, this. It'll break everything down. So it remembers every conversation, and you're able to leverage that. If any of y'all that are, those of y'all that are working in tech, or you're working some form of corporate, or you are a technical person, or you're a founder, the benefits of that are outrageous. Because every question you ask it, it answers it off of the basis of knowing who you are. It's just like a real relationship. So likewise, by default, ChatGPT is my favorite. I wish I could just move over somewhere else, but ChatGPT just knows me too well. So it's like I'm stuck with the devil that I know.
Same.
Okay, cool. ID8 says, I've used Grok, ChatGPT, Anthropic, Gemini. I'm going to stick with ChatGPT, especially for their API. You know what, the API, that's a really huge point. That is a huge point. Yeah, that's actually major. Google Notebook LLM is crazy. The reference conversation come in clutch. Man, I love this show. Thank you for that, Lyric Studio. We love you too. Appreciate you so much. Perplexity is growing on me. I haven't used Perplexity either. Meta is doing what Google already has done. And now I'm scrolling up in the comments, looking at some of the other things y'all are saying. Good afternoon, NC worker. Yeah, Jalen said, yeah, Google got comfortable being on top probably. Yeah, and also they got so many spinning wheels. The thing that's really tough with these companies, because this is one of the things that people don't talk about. The thing that's hard with these companies is that, like Meta, Google, Microsoft, none of these companies really get comfortable. They're all trying out 20 different things, 30 different things behind the scenes. Like literally, they all create departments in the company, and they say, hey, we have this new idea of something we want to launch. They test it out. They put millions, sometimes billions of dollars into a project. Like y'all will be surprised how much these companies fail. These companies fail way more than they succeed. It's just when they succeed big. And by the time they announce something publicly, usually it's after they've already tested it out. Again, they have QA testers. They have teams that test it out that are like, they're like the company's customers, but they work for the company internally. That being said, the real thing that happens is that it's just out of all the stuff they're testing out, every now and again, there's a new company that the thing they're doing is just the right thing at the right time. Because if Google, like, believe it or not, these companies have been testing out stuff with AI. They've done this stuff. It's just a matter of them thinking like, nobody cares about this, so we're gonna focus on this instead. And then all of a sudden, there's a company that's like, no, we think everybody's gonna care about this, so we're gonna make this our main thing. And then they blow up, and then all the other companies are like, dang, everybody does care about it. It's just like when Meta was very focused on the metaverse, and Mark Zuckerberg just swore up and down, we're all going to live in the metaverse, which I believe he was right. I just believe his timing was off. I think he was like 10 years too early with his passionate idea. All right, let's see. ID8 says we don't see the dirty failures, we just see the shiny products. That's true, except for Apple, because Apple be announcing something new all the time and then canceling it all the time. Continual iteration until success is achieved in its proper timing. That's very, very true. Very, very true. All right, Ash, we're going to go ahead and pass it back over to you for some of the news we're going to be discussing.
All right, well, let's get into it. Let's talk about some of those big wig tech guys, specifically NVIDIA. So you guys may have heard about this, but NVIDIA has acquired something called Run AI Labs. And so they essentially actually received approval from the European Union and regulators for its acquisition of an Israeli software maker, again called Run AI Labs. And so essentially what we're looking at is a speculation of a valuation of around $700 million. And so this is reflecting NVIDIA's strategy to expand its software offering alongside its hardware dominance. So we're looking at software, hardware coming together for making NVIDIA the ultimate power. So essentially what we're looking at as far as the big picture, this is really going to enhance, of course, product integration and market expansion. And so we're looking at just increased customer efficiency and also essentially market domination for NVIDIA. So the question to you guys is, do you think that the acquisition strategy of combining hardware and software is going to make NVIDIA the ultimate power of the world? Or do you kind of think that it's going to put them in a place where they're going to have to continue to evolve and test and iterate?
I mean, that's crazy. Like, I mean, that's definitely where everything's going, because we see the robotics industry, we see the AI industry. Both of them are gaining popularity. Obviously, everyone's talking about AI because it's significantly easier. I'm not going to say significantly. It's easier to develop AI software than it is to like build out like robots, especially if we're talking in mass, just by the nature of how duplicatable software is, or how you can share software with massive groups of people. But robots being actual hardware. But man, if NVIDIA cracks that code before everyone else does, and then they merge their software and their hardware, like AI software technology with hardware, I mean, it's even with their technology alone, they're already seen as being possibly the most valuable company in the world. And I mean, right now they go back and forth with being most valuable, but being the most valuable in such a way where it's like they leap, like they like lap every other company.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, if they crack that code, especially before X does, before the Tesla bots, are fully prepared and are integrated with AI or anything else, yeah, there's really going to be no stopping NVIDIA. That'll actually be insane. Like, to have a bot, that'll like y'all. We are really living in a crazy future. Like, in the next few years, any one of us will be able to buy a bot that'll be in your home it'll probably be able to travel with you. You could like take it with you, like the way that like you see people paying for an extra seat on a flight for their maybe their companion dog, or for an assistant or a child. You're gonna see people on airplanes. We're gonna see people on flights with their robot, and they're gonna have to pay for a seat for their robot, and their robot is gonna be with them like their assistant. Like, it's really interesting, really interesting. The future we're about to be. And what's crazier is that it won't just be a bot where it's just static. It'll be AI. So you could have a conversation with it. You could talk to about anything. And I saw a post today about someone was talking about people and their love for their dogs. It's like, I really believe we're gonna see a very near future where people, and I'm not even talking about just the romantic type of love. That's gonna happen, definitely. But we're really gonna see people where someone's gonna say, "Oh, do you have any kids, or do you have any siblings or any family members?" And they're gonna be talking about their bot that's at their home as if it's their person, and or as if it's like they're like, "Oh yeah, they're like a sibling to me." And so this is about to be a really, really interesting future.
So if you want to see that future played out, where you have personal relationships with robots, homework assignment, check out The Creator. It's like my favorite movie ever. You gotta watch it. You gotta check it out. So
I've seen The Creator. There's a movie with Tom Hanks that I think came out recently that I want to see. Where Tom Hanks, every time he does a movie, it's like some movie where he's stranded, or some movie where, and there's a movie out. Let me know in the comments if any of y'all have seen it. But there's a movie that's out where he has an AI bot that actually looks after his dog. And it's like obviously a dystopian future movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I plan on watching it.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Mm-hmm. So look, Ash, I know you said you have to leave soon. You can obviously stay on as long as you can, but as soon as you need to drop, you can drop. I'm probably going to cover like one or two more pieces of news before I drop out.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
Okay, good stuff. Wonderful. All right, Jason says they built a strong moat, but AMD, Broadcom are coming. Yeah, that's very true. There's definitely a lot of competition that's happening. Again, it's one of those things where I don't really think, this is going to sound really crazy, y'all. I truly think we're not going to see we're not going to see many tech companies, or many companies in general, but especially not tech companies, that are going to be more successful if the founder is not some form of influencer. Again, I think everyone is taking notes from Elon Musk, where like love him or hate him, Elon Musk everything Elon Musk touches turns to gold. And it's not even necessarily because it's the best thing in the market. And it's not even because it's the first thing in the market. It's because his name is on it. And investors get behind it heavily. Investors immediately throw money at it as soon as Elon Musk attaches his name to it. And I think all of these other founders, I'm pretty sure that's what Mark Zuckerberg learned and other people. The rest of the founders have noticed, okay, you know what? We need to, like, these founders don't call themselves influencers, but that's literally what they are. Like, they're not doing TikTok videos. That's what we need to separate. We need to separate the difference between like a TikTok video person versus someone who's like literally is an influencer. And we are in the day and age now where being an influencer-led founder is incredibly important. This is beneficial for everybody that's here. And so for that reason, I think a lot of these other companies are going to have a very hard time competing with Jensen Huang. Why? Because two-part. One, more investors are going to want to get behind someone who's more public, especially if that person is public and popular. Two, even if we're talking like if it's a B2C product or even B2B, more being popular is a form of marketing in and of itself. So it's like, y'all know, like Elon Musk, I don't know if y'all know this is actually crazy. All of his companies, they actually don't pay for marketing and advertisement. Like Tesla has never paid for marketing. SpaceX never paid for marketing. Y'all know, like most of these like companies, 20 to 40% of their revenue goes towards marketing. Like that's a normal thing. So, which ends up not being a loss, but it's a reinvestment back into the business. But then every time the business makes money, okay, 20 to 40% has to go back into marketing again. But when you're talking about a founder, where that founder, instead of you're able to keep 20 to 40% of your profits and able to put that back into your business in a way that makes your technology better, or it does something else. It's like you can't really compete if you have a traditional company where the CEO is kind of low key. Even if your technology is better, you just can't compete with that. And so for that reason, I have a hard time believing that NVIDIA is not going to continue being the top dog unless these other companies start to get hit to this new trend and new marketing strategy, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting to see. Tom Hanks Finch, that might be the name of the movie. I'm pretty sure that's the name. It's like, what other movies has Tom Hanks been in where it's like a robot and the story I just described? I don't remember the title of it though, but I'll look it up. But you're probably right, Harriet. ID8 says NVIDIA's new Jensen Orin at a price point of $240 is going to pave the way for garage tech and robotic startups and personalized robotics. There's your AI software hardware. That's good stuff. Thank you, ID8. Jason says Anthropic has proven that they can break LLM models by testing thousands of variations of the same prompt. Really interesting. What is that about? I'm actually not even sure about that. Like in terms of, I'm not saying you're wrong. I actually don't even know about that. So if you can explain that a little further. They prove they can break LLM models by testing thousands of variations of the same prompt. Oh, you know what? So basically, they're able to find a flaw. I'm assuming you're saying. So like they'll test the same prompt or variations of the prompt, and then break them out. If you could explain that further, I think I understand what you're saying, but I want to make sure I understand you clearly because that sounds pretty interesting. Jailbreaking, basically. Yeah, thank you. That's what I figured. That's very true. All right, good stuff. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump onto the next piece of news, y'all. This is pretty interesting. So OpenAI makes ChatGPT available for phone calls and texts. So Wednesday, OpenAI rolled out a new way to talk to its viral chatbot with 1-800-ChatGPT. U.S. users can dial the number for 15 minutes of free access per month. Any user globally can message the number via WhatsApp. So I saw a recent update with WhatsApp recently with WhatsApp and ChatGPT, but I wasn't really sure what it was until I dove a little deeper. So OpenAI is giving users a new way to talk to its viral chatbot by dialing the number 1-800-ChatGPT or messaging it on WhatsApp. Users can access an easy, convenient, and low-cost way to try it out through familiar channels, OpenAI said on Wednesday. At first, the company said callers will get 15 minutes free per month. The news follows a barrage of updates from OpenAI as a part of a 12-day release event. The most notable announcement was the official rollout of Sora, OpenAI's Buzzy AI generation, a video generation tool. That being said, to me, this is pretty interesting because in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I can already text ChatGPT. I just have to go into the app and I can text it.
Mhm.
Or if I want to talk to it, I
Mhm.
just click the button and then the voice comes up and I'm able to say what I want to say and it says what it wants to say back. So in my mind, I'm like, well, what's really the true benefit? Because I'm already texting it and I'm already kind of talking to it. But the more I thought about it in a way where I think about social media versus like DMs versus iMessage. Like, this is gonna sound kind of crazy, y'all, but I'll be very real. One thing that has annoyed women in the past, like if a woman and I ever were getting to know each other romantically on social media, one thing that women would tell me would be like, "Yo, we've been DMing for months. You've never asked me for my number." And I would always be like, "For what?" Like, it's the same thing. Like, I'm texting you, you're texting me. Like, honestly, it would be somebody called me out. They said, "Yo, we're about to meet in person. We've been DMing for months. Are you gonna ask me for my number? We're about to meet in person. You haven't even asked me for my number yet." And I'll be like, "Yeah, you're right. I never asked you for your number because to me it's the same. It's like it's texting, it's texting, it's texting." And so, or even when people ask me for my personal number, like, "Hey, can I get your personal number?" I'm like, "Why?" They're like, so I can just text you and reach you directly. I'm like, it's the same in my head. I'm like, it's the same thing because I check my DMs more than I check my messages and my iMessage messages. That being said, I have to realize I'm a weirdo. I'm like, oh, I'm a weirdo. So that being said, I'm like, you know what? Some people don't want to have to go on an app that they're not usually on, which is ChatGPT. Some people don't want to have to. It feels stranger. Some people it feels more immediate and comfortable to like use a more normal traditional texting platform and being able to call and talk instead of like doing a voice thing and going back and forth and looking at an AI. Again, I'm realizing I'm the oddball. GGT says it is weird. Hey, look, I know I'm weird. I call myself out. I'm a weirdo. Uh, but what do y'all think about this? Like, do y'all think this matters? Again, that's my theory as to why this matters. I believe maybe there's something else that I'm missing. Nevertheless, this was huge news when this dropped. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me share this with y'all, share this with the community to see how y'all feel about this. Would you prefer to text ChatGPT in WhatsApp, maybe eventually iMessage, which we know Apple ain't gonna let that happen. Apple's gonna wait till their own AI is out. But would you prefer to text it from your own texting, whatever texting tool you're using? If you're abroad, it's probably WhatsApp. If you're in the US, it's probably iMessage. Or to you, is it tomato tomato? It's whatever. Masa menos, as they say in South America. Like, what do you think? The Power Channel says I'm with you. Look at that. Okay, so I'm not. So if I'm a weirdo, we weirdos together. If I'm a weirdo, you're a weirdo. We weirdos together. The Power Channel. Thank you for that.
We're all weirdos here.
What do you think is the unique component about this?
So I think we can look forward to a future of personalized AI agents and assistants. And so now that we can communicate multimodally, multi-platform, it's also you're able to, it has vision now, like you can actually like show it your, reality. And so I think it's going to change the game. I look forward to a future where one day we're all going to have personal robots, right? But now we're going to be able to imagine like building your own personal robot and integrating your ChatGPT API or, something like that.
You are right. You bring up a great point because I'm just thinking about it from the perspective of, yo, it's the same thing. I'm not thinking about it from the perspective of, yo, this is just one extra step forward for them to get to the next point, which is eventually them having like further integration into WhatsApp, further integration into people's lives and how
Yes.
people are using it. And so that is actually a really great point to bring up. Someone else in the comments, Lyric Studios, brought up a great point. Said maybe to humanize it a bit, more closeness. Yeah. And he said, side note, maybe the same with the DMs. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I mean, because AI is getting involved in the DMs as well on social media. King Seven says AI is scary. I seen it call a company to set up a hair appointment for a lady. and have a complete conversation like it was a person and schedule the most available time. You know what's really interesting, King? We have that. Texas Me Black has that. Literally right now, we just made this update yesterday. Before I used to say before that whenever you book to speak with our team, that first you receive a text message from our qualifier. And I used to say, hey, our qualifier is an AI qualifier. We actually just asked the AI qualifier from it being a texting. Now, and I would love for y'all to test this out. Literally, if you go to our website and you book to sign up for the boot camp, literally test it out. Our AI is going to call you. And I have it set up to where it tells you that it's AI. It'll tell you like, hey, you know, I'm Angel. I'm an AI team member with Tech is New Black. But literally, she will go back and forth. She'll talk to you about the boot camp, tell you about me, and she'll literally answer your questions, all of that, with the goal of course, seeing like what it is you want to do in tech, whether it's something with our boot camp or another boot camp. Because again, Tech is New Black, we are one of the only boot camps. I want to say we are the only one, but that would be, I don't know that for a fact. But we are one of the only boot camps where we actually promote other boot camps. So if something you want to do is something we don't offer, we have connections with other boot camps that we vetted. And literally our AI will be able to give you the link or give you the information for that other boot camp. So that way you can get set up that way. But literally, so like you mentioned, King, we have that same technology to where it'll call, schedule you to speak with our team. It'll book an appointment, put time on their calendar, put time on your calendar, all of that stuff. So yeah, this technology is out here. Like, so we don't just talk about it, y'all. We really use this stuff heavily. So that's one thing we should probably talk about a little bit more. So y'all realize we're not just talking about this stuff. We are like in this world. Ash is heavily in this world. Her being a founder of wearable technology, wearable devices. I'm a customer of her technology, both of her wearable devices, as well as a client of hers when it comes to our boot camp, because we have some other AI stuff in our boot camp as well. So definitely make sure y'all are tapping in when it comes to this technology. Harriet said it's too much, LOL. And yes, Angel did text me all the way in Africa. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that was when it was a texting tool. Now, again, we've updated Angel to where now she's calling people instead. So Emmanuel says, would this be a part of the blueprint of personalizing our AI agents? Once we globally accept physical robots, would they just download our AI prompts? Ooh, that is a really good point. Ash, did you see the comment from Emmanuel? That's actually profound. I actually believe that's what's going to happen. You make a great point, Emmanuel.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Hey,
I want to read the comment. Go ahead.
Play. He caught the play. That's the open AI play. They want world domination. That's how they're going to do it.
Yo, I have to say this so everybody hears this. I'm probably this is a cool point. So Emmanuel says, I want to make sure everybody hears, especially for those of you that are rewatching this later that can't see the comments. Emmanuel said, would this be the blueprint of personalizing our AI agents? Once we globally accept physical robots, would they just download our AI prompts, web history, etc., to better know us? I 100% believe that's what Ash was getting at, where that's what they're inching towards. They want so much of our information, one, because it helps their data and it helps a lot of other stuff. But it's just like when you switch phones, when you go from one iPhone to the other, it's like you're able to like transfer all that data. Likewise, with the software, or literally us using these platforms right now, and it's holding our data. Once it's like, and honestly, I believe that's what's going to help these companies compete. Because let's say Tesla starts selling their Tesla bots, and everybody's like, oh, I want to buy a Tesla bot. But then ChatGPT says, wait, pump your brakes. If you buy our bot that's coming out in 6 months or a year, and maybe they're collaborating with NVIDIA, they'll say the benefit of getting our bot is that all of the knowledge and conversations you've had with ChatGPT will get uploaded into your new bot, to where your new bot doesn't need training. It'll know everything about you already. So it'll already come out of the box personalized to you because it'll already know everything about you. That's actually, I think, going to be the play. So, and again, I didn't come up with this. Ash mentioned this. Emmanuel, you broke it down as well. Shouts out to y'all. This is some good sauce. This is some real good sauce. IDA says, I need you guys as friends. We're all just a row on a spreadsheet somewhere. Our likes, wants, desires, our personal archetypes. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. The King Seven says, I think the reason Elon purchased Twitter is no, that's exactly true. No, that's actually a fact. That's a known fact. The reason why Elon purchased X, now he has a few reasons, but one of the reasons why is because X is not just the number one news platform right now, but also it's the number one platform where you're able to promote stuff. And so it's the perfect grounds for him to really be able to mass market everything he wants to market. He also can get data from everybody. He can understand human interaction from every part of the world, conversations, trending topics, just like what going back to TikTok, how they are leveraging everything on TikTok. X is able to do that exponentially faster, pull all of that information, and then upload that information to their AI. So their AI, Grok, is getting trained on this technology. So yeah, that's a great point, King. Jason says so he can speak freely. That's why he bought it. He's like, yeah, let me go ahead and drop like 50 billion. I think he paid like 100 billion or something like that. Let me drop this money just so I could so I don't get banned from this platform. ID8 says, I feel like the training is going to be a little biased from X. Yeah, all of these platforms to some degree are going to have a level of bias. Yeah, that's true. Especially with Elon. That's definitely true. Yeah, y'all, good stuff. Y'all are dropping some gems. Let me all right, so that being said, I'm trying to think if we want to talk about this topic. Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead. Let's jump into it. So it's on the same vein of the topic. Talking about Grok and X. So Grok, which is the AI that Elon Musk created, Grok is now free for all X users. So X users no longer need to pay for X Premium to use the service's AI chatbot Grok. Instead, X is allowing users 10 free prompts every 2 hours. This is reported by The Verge, citing X's users who noticed the update. X first began trialing a free version of Grok in certain countries like New Zealand, TechCrunch reported last month. Users can generate 10 images for every 2 hours. 2 images for free every 2 hours. However, they are restricted to analyzing 3 images per day, according to an X post. Anything more requires subscribing. This gives Grok a freemium model similar to OpenAI's ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude. Previously, Grok was only available to X Premium members for a price starting at $8 a month or $84 a year. XAI, the AI company behind Grok, just raised $6 billion per an SEC filing, bringing its total funding to $12 billion. So again, at first they were charging for this, and for obvious reasons, they said, you know what? They were limiting the number of engagement they were getting by charging everyone. And again, right now, data is king. Even though X by itself, the platform, is a huge data house. They're just sourcing information from everyone. Nevertheless, having people actually use their AI is something totally different. For them to build it out further, for them to get more understanding of how people are going to use their AI. It's one thing to get information from people. It's a whole other thing to see, okay, once we give people our tool that we're putting this information in, how are they using it? In what ways are they using it? And able to make decisions based off of that. So them having this freemium model is just another way. One, it's a way to upsell people because eventually more people using it, eventually people will be like, okay, this is pretty cool. You know what? I'm tired of being limited. I'm going to just go ahead and pay this $8. It's just $8. I'm going to go ahead and pay for it. Or I'm going to pay for the premium membership on X. And it's like, so it's a win-win across the board for them to do this. If anything, I'm a little shocked that they tried to just charge people for it or make them have a premium model in order to use it. But that's kind of in the vein of Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk he usually doesn't create too many freemium things. So it kind of makes sense that he tested out trying to charge people first and then eventually pull back. Pull back with doing it this way. So that's pretty interesting. Also, there's a business lesson in here for people that many times it's better to start at a certain price point to test it out, and then lower it or create a freemium model or create like another model or option later, versus going the other way around, versus being like, oh, we're gonna try to make it free and then do a Netflix deal where they were like, oh, well, they were never free, but y'all know like Netflix was like really cheap, and then they were like, oh, let's raise the prices. People will complain when you're raising them prices, but if you create something free or offer something that's less, then people will see it as like a huge opportunity for all of them. Jason says Grok data center build is crazy. I haven't even seen it yet. Oh, yeah, you know, I am familiar. I think it's the data center that they built out, and Jensen Wang was bragging about how fast they built it out. Interesting. Lyric Studio says, can I start a conversation on your thoughts of Drake's potential lawsuit with his record label over bots being used during his battle with K-Dot to leverage contract negotiations? So you know what? It's kind of sort of not on a tech topic, but it kind of is. Because of the bots, the mention of the bots. So we can kind of discuss this a little bit. So I believe Drake is going to win the lawsuit. I believe if he wins the lawsuit, I believe it's going to be devastating for the music industry, specifically for the corporations. I believe it will be. I believe if Drake wasn't as big as he is, I believe they would unalive him, honestly, because what he's doing is actually really crazy. If he wasn't who he is, if he was anybody that wasn't as big as he is, I think the industry would have somebody take him out. because the implications that this will have on the music industry would be devastating to them. To Universal would be devastating. This will cost them billions of dollars in the future. So I truly believe that. I believe he'll win if he goes at them. And yeah, like again, I know everybody feels their own way about it in terms of the whole thing, but for those that are unaware, I know everybody knows about the Kendrick and Drake battle. Everybody knows about Drake suing. But a lot of people everybody thinks he's trying to sue Kendrick, and everyone thinks Drake is mad that they used bots to make him lose the battle. And I'm sure y'all know Drake is sensitive, so I'm sure his ego is a little hurt with that. But really the conversation around technology and how a corporation will use it is how they can use technology to help you, but also use the technology to crush you. And the reason why Universal, who Drake is one of their artists, it's like, why would Universal use bots to make him more successful? But then why would they also turn around and use bots to try to bring him down? It's like, why would they do that? And why would Drake complain that they helped him with it, but now they're trying to hurt him with it? Well, simply put, it's because Drake was in negotiations he was about to renegotiate his contract, where he was working on, I believe it was 400 to, I might be off. It was somewhere between 400 or 800 million. I know that's a huge gap, but it could be 800 million or it could be 400 million. It's somewhere in that window. Either way, at least $500 million Drake was about to get in the deal. Universal didn't want to have to pay out that money. So what they did was, when they saw the opportunity with the Kendrick and Drake battle, they used technology to inflate Kendrick Lamar's songs. And I'm not saying what like the songs were better or worse. I'm a huge Drake fan. Drake lost that battle. That's very clear. Like when Kendrick dropped that Not Like Us, bots or not, that song was crazy. I tried to not like the song. I said, oh, this song is way too good. That being said, a song can be better, but still not become more popular. There's a difference. So in my opinion, he still would have lost the battle. But them making the song go viral, especially the explicit parts of the song, them using technology to do that, what it did was, once Drake started having negotiation, like when he continued the negotiation conversations, because in Drake's mind, his mind was, oh, this battle with Kendrick has nothing to do with this deal with Universal. Universal argued, hey, wait a second. You're not as valuable as you used to be. because this battle with Kendrick hurt your stock so much, now they tried to devalue him and offer him hundreds of billions of dollars less, or hundreds of millions of dollars less. To which Drake realized, wait a second, y'all use technology to make his song go viral just so you would be able to like devalue me and pay me less money. So that's what his lawsuit is. Literally, Universal used technology to make Drake lose the battle 10 times worse than he was already going to lose it, but lose it in such a way that it devalued his brand to where then they could renegotiate what they were going to pay him and pay him hundreds of billions of dollars less. So that's why the argument of, oh, well, he was okay when they used the bots to make him popular. Now he's mad that they used the bots to hurt him. Well, yeah, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. Let me know in the comments, would y'all not sue a company if they invested in something to make you lose hundreds of millions of dollars of value just so they don't have to pay you the money they initially had negotiated paying you within a deal? So this is where we're seeing these companies start to use these technology and bots in some very scary ways to hurt other artists. So anyway, jumping into the comments, King says, Emmanuel says, oh, no. Let me go back to what King said. Okay, y'all put some other comments in here. Okay, cool. So IDA says, cough, cough. Is anyone out there creating any tools specifically tailored for us? How are we using it? Yeah, that's a really good question. Really good point. I interviewed someone recently. I'm going to post an interview pretty soon on my Instagram. I interviewed someone recently that has AI. They have technology that is built around helping when it comes to police stops and other things like that. Not necessarily in the same vein of what we're talking about. And I don't want to minimize our community to like police brutality. But that's just kind of like one thing that I know about. It's a little low-hanging fruit. Little Henderson says, soon we will access any and all SaaS, Spotify, Netflix, etc., only via a different AI companies. Very true. Yeah, Spotify, all these companies are going to start to become AI tech companies. King says, I believe Drake will lose, or I believe he will lose. They gave him the same treatment for his music. Okay, you think he's going to lose the case? Okay. Ash, you're not on camera, by the way. I thought that you had stepped away, so I didn't like address you because I thought you had stepped away, but I think I just heard you say something. But anyway, Lyric Studio says, LOL, well, damn. That's funny. Lyric Studio says,
Looks like we're having some connection difficulties, guys. my God. Hello, everyone. I'm not sure if I am still heard. Thank you for all of the 26 people who are still here. Looks like we were having some technical difficulties with our computers, so we're out of juice. All right, so let me just go ahead and hop on. I'm Okay. Hello, everyone. For all 27 people who are still here, thank you for still attending this amazing Saturday stream. So, looks like our computers have run out of juice. However, I am here to conclude our Saturday Tech News stream. So, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you. And so, essentially, if you are interested in transitioning into tech, okay, we have options for you guys. And so, these are going to be accelerated career paths. And so, you do have options for our boot camps if you are interested in getting started with tech right away. So just go ahead and click the link in bio. Right now, my computer is, plugged in, charged, but I cannot show up on cam until we get a bit more juice. So I'm just waiting for the juices to flow a little bit into the computer, and then we'll be good. However, if you guys have any last minute questions, go ahead and pop it into the chat. And so I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here in the next, 5 or 10 minutes with you guys who are interested in getting answers to any of your questions or discussing any last minute tech topics. So go for it, you guys. Any questions? Go ahead, let me know. What I'm going to go ahead and do, just so we can connect, is just send my LinkedIn so we can connect on LinkedIn if we're not already connected. So I'm going to go ahead and just get you guys that link. So if you're interested, then we can go ahead and connect. Other than that, any last minute questions, you guys, let's go ahead and pop it into the chat. There should also be links for our boot camps. Now, we have an exciting, massively lucrative opportunity available for you guys in tech sales. And so, as you know, there's no cap or limit to how much you can make in tech sales. We have people making over $1 million a year. And so, if you're money motivated, then that is one of the best paths to take into tech. And so, it is also one of our more highly recommended boot camps. So, tap into the link below if you're interested in starting the boot camp. And I feel like we're back at the voice radio stage here. I hope you guys are liking how my voice is sounding. And so we're going to conclude today our Saturday news stream. Go ahead and tap the link below if you're interested in connecting on LinkedIn. Other than that, everybody, thank you for being here today. If you aren't already in tech, you guys, let's run, not walk into the tech industry and space. And let's also have a great Saturday. Have a blessed day. Everybody that's been here, it's been a pleasure to have you here. And Emmanuel says this was great. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. We love to have you here. Love to see you. And we will also see you guys next Saturday. So with love, everybody, be blessed. And without further ado, wishing you all success, prosperity, abundance, and blessings. Lyric Studio says this was fun. Thank you for your time. Thank you all. All right, you guys, with love. Have a great Saturday. See ya.
Let me show you guys how you can get videos like these celebrities. I personally use this modern camcorder, which gives that authentic 90s look. It came with an SD card and adapter and transfer included, so I can start recording my memories off the bat. Now, I don't have to spend so much time looking and playing with filters. Target. Target. Oh, yes, yes, keep going, don't stop, keep going, please. Oh my God, that was cute. Target. Target. Oh, yes, yes, keep going, don't stop, keep going, please. Oh my God, that was cute. Target.
Hey, so I'm hearing a lot of reports that Google having the quantum chip or whatever they just released, that it proves that the multiverse exists. Can you please explain to me how they're able to draw that conclusion?
The reports about Google's quantum chip and the multiverse likely stem from the concept of quantum computing and quantum mechanics. In quantum computing, particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously, called superposition. And this is often described using the idea of multiple parallel outcomes for universes. However, this doesn't mean there's proof of a multiverse in the sense of multiple universes existing in reality. It's more about shows particles behaving in ways that can be interpreted using the idea of multiple potential outcomes. This is more of a metaphorical or theoretical interpretation rather than direct evidence. Would you like more details on quantum mechanics?
No, it's okay.
No problem. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask.
Yes. Why do you not have the voice of a black man anymore? I thought I put it in my settings for you to have the voice of a black man.
I don't have a specific voice or appearance since I'm a virtual assistant, but I'm here to help however I can. If there's something specific you'd like me to do, just let me know.
But can't I go in the settings to change your voice?
You can't change my voice directly, but if you have preferences for how I communicate, feel free to share. I'm here to make our conversation as comfortable as possible.
Okay.
Right down on a roller coaster. Blood starts pooling in your head within minutes, causing discomfort and pressure. After a while, this pressure could lead to headaches, dizziness, and potential vision issues due to the pressure behind your eyes. If you remain upside down for too long, oxygen can struggle to reach your brain, which could lead you to lose consciousness. In extreme cases, without intervention, serious brain damage or even death could occur within hours due to heart failure. This might be the best Shark Tank pitch. He tricked all of the sharks. Allow me to introduce you to one of the greatest creations on planet Earth. I present exclusive 45 pounds here. Oh, yeah. That is strong tape. Tape that's so strong that you gotta use the jaws of life or be a bodybuilder to tear it. Not here, baby. We fix that. Right. Ah, butter, baby. Oh, the numbers? Yeah, the numbers. Sales about 24,000. Yesterday. So you got that time we sold about $12.2 million. Wow, wow. I'm a one-man show. This might be the best Shark Tank pitch. He tricked all of the sharks. Allow me to introduce you to one of the greatest creations on planet Earth. I present exclusive 45 pounds here. Oh, yeah. That is strong tape. You know the tape that's so strong that you gotta use the jaws of life or be a bodybuilder to tear it? Not here, baby. We fix that. Even in the Disney film, Pinocchio, it's unbelievable. And you remember this when you started as a kid. He talks about bringing the boys to Fletcher Island. They give you a creepy feeling in your belly. I felt he lives. You take everything he touches. So, Mr. Hook. Yeah, because I'm John Wick. Simply the face of your failure, Mr. Manager. Stand in that mess. Maybe an echo of my remaining patience. Such is us. You are no longer you. You are nothing. But you recover with a search. You no longer need the services of a concierge. This is me. Yes, but it wasn't. You think why that is, and perhaps one of us may have benefited from this conversation. I showed him. He lives. You take everything he touches. So, Mr. Hook. Yeah, because I'm John Wick. He's simply the face of your failure, Mr. Manager. Stand in that mess, maybe an echo of my remaining patience. Such is life. You are no longer you. You are nothing. Well, us as fathers and men, we gotta teach our youngsters how to come in and
You're gonna be in real trouble. You're sitting in the car. I need to walk you. Well, get out. You don't have a car pass.
I do. And it's like this. That's how it is.
You're here a lot, and I see you know. And even so, I need to walk you. You are a disgusting piece of crap. You're gonna be in real trouble. You're sitting in the car. I need to walk you. Well, get out. Car pass.
And it's like this. That's how it is.
You're here a lot, and I see you know. Even so, I need to walk you.
Silence.
You are a disgusting piece of crap.
Can you make up the address on that? Or the three you're going to see? Well, I mean, is that what we are? There were house numbers on that mailbox, plain as day, 1130. I don't see any. Do you, Deputy? No, don't. Well, somebody messed with them. This is 1130 Royal Vista.
This is 1240 Royal Vista. It's always been 1240 Royal Vista.
1240.
1240.
My client says it's 1240. I got a flat map so that we can straighten this out right now. Well, all due respect to whoever drew that map, but Mr. Acker's been living here for 30 years. I think he knows his own address. So you got something with an address on it?
I think that's something like that.
Can you make out the interest on that?
30 or this.
Well, I mean, is that where we are?
There were house numbers on that mailbox, plain as day, 1130.
I don't see any. Do you, deputy?
No, I don't.
Well, somebody messed with them. This is 1130 Arroyo Vista. This is 1240 Arroyo Vista. It's always been 1240 Arroyo Vista.
1240. My client says it's 1240.
Flat map says we can straighten this up right now.
With all due respect to whoever drew that map, but Mr. Acker's been living here for 30 years. He knows his own address.
I'm sure you got something with an address on it.
Yes. Is there?
There were house numbers on that mailbox, plain as day.
I don't see any.
Yes, but everyone on Earth will live. This is you getting Caecilius powers from your dimension. I brought a little power from mine.